Peace, family. I guess you can call this breaking news. I knew it was just a matter of time. These spineless Democrats has caved in, crossed party lines to help the Republicans open up the government. And the reason for this defection is the fact that they didn't want to see the escalating cost of health care and the continuing suffering of the people that's not receiving their SNAP benefits. All on a promise to negotiate. The Republicans offered them nothing tangible, just the promise to negotiate. And these are people who knew this was coming. And when they asked Donald Trump if this government shutdown continue, what do they plan to do? He simply said, we have the people that we want to get paid. And that was the FBI and the military. He didn't mention the children. He didn't mention the elderly. He didn't mention the poor, the handicapped, the disabled, the veterans. He didn't mention any of that. He was solely focused on the military and the FBI. I don't know how in your right mind, being a Democrat, that you think you can possibly negotiate with these people. Donald Trump, before this shutdown occurred, him and Elon Musk were firing hundreds of thousands of people, pushing these people further, and a lot of them wasn't making a lot of money to begin with. They fired hundreds of thousands of federal workers. And then once the shutdown began, part of their negotiating tactics, they was trying to encourage the Democrats to come and negotiate. Donald Trump threatened to fire even more people. And see, at this point, it's not about supporting the government that you have. It's about supporting the government that you deserve. And nobody in their right mind can continue supporting this two-party system, because the Republicans are a bunch of heartless, greedy individuals that's scared of their leader, and the Democrats are just spineless. They don't have the heart, the tenacity to stand up to do what's right. If it was suffering that you was afraid of, it was suffering that the Republicans had put on the people, all the polls, all the momentum, all the news channels, all pointed to the Republican Party. All the Democrats had to do was just ignore the threats and let things run its course. And when these benefits dried up and people really started suffering, you wouldn't have had to campaign for nothing. They'd have threw every last one of the Republicans out of office. And see, when you vote for hopes and dreams and wishes and faith, and don't put tangibles in place, you leave yourself vulnerable to characters like Donald Trump. When facing starving children, a federal judge had to tell him to fund the program. And Donald Trump refused to do that. How do you, like I say, how do you think you're going to, what do you think you're going to, agreement that you're going to get from the very same people who caused this suffering in the first place? And when given alternatives to alleviate the pain, they refuse the orders from a federal judge. And now, the very same person that then fired hundreds of thousands of workers, you got to go right back to the same person to ask to fund SNAP program, to help extend the tax subsidies to save the people health care, millions of people at risk of losing it. And you know what? The ironic thing about this It's the fact that, let's say Donald Trump was compassionate enough to refund SNAP and extend the tax cuts. That would mean it was highly likely that he would have to rehire some of the federal workers that he had already previously fired to fulfill this thing. He didn't cut so many people off. You may not even have enough workers on staff right now to even complete. This is ridiculous. Like I said, this is somewhat breaking news, but I had already anticipated the Democrats was going to cave on this, and I'm going to do my best to try to learn as much as I can about this scenario and see who all the culprits were. I think one of them was Dean Cain, whatever it was. I know it's just ridiculous, but you know what? I'm gonna end this video here. These are my thoughts, and as usual, leave yours in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Ashe.